हम आ गए भाई और साथ में लाए हैं काफ़ी खास मेहमान ख़वातीन हज़रात वापस आने के लिए शुक्रिया करम मेहरबानी। जैसे कि हमने आपको प्रॉमिस किया था पहले सेगमेंट में, आज हम आपकी मुलाकात कराने वाले हैं एक ऐसे टैलेंट से जो कनाडा की आवाज़ों में, कनाडा की मौसीकी में सबसे बुलंद कैटेगरी में है। आई थिंक दिस इज वन ऑफ द टैलेंट्स यू नीड टू वॉच आउट फॉर, कि इनका जो टैलेंट है वो कनाडा में समा ही नहीं रहा है। इट इज ऑफ डेफिनेटली ऑफ इंटरनेशनल कैलिबर ऑल टुगेदर। यू नो हु आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट भाई। शी इज परफॉर्म्ड विद सलीम सुलेमान, शी इज बीन कनेक्टेड विद सम ऑफ द मोस्ट ब्रिलियंट टैलेंट्स, वेदर इट्स बॉलीवुड, वेदर इट्स अर्बन साउथ एशियन। ऑफ कोर्स परिचय के साथ उन्होंने 2 ट्रैक्स हाल ही में करे हैं, न्यू ट्रैक विद समवन यू माइट नो फ्रॉम द इंटरनेट। ये सारी जो बातें हैं भाई, मैं अभी सब तो नहीं बता सकता ना, पिछले हफ्ते से मैं बदनाम हूं कि हर बात मैं पहले से बता देता हूं। आई एम गोना लेट द लेडी डू द टॉकिंग फॉर हरसेल्फ। प्लीज वेलकम इनटू आवर studios, the one, the only, the very talented ShwetaSubram. Shweta, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, and that was a beautiful introduction.
Thank you, yaar.
I think you know, my feet's not on the ground anymore. I'll be somewhere else after that beautiful introduction.
I'll be honest with you. You know what? Doing this show, I've learned to fake it really well. But this was one of the few times I was genuine about it.
I hope so.
Because I am a genuine fan of your talent.
Oh, thank you so much.
I mean, look, your voice alone is enough to speak for itself. But your music itself, you know, Ajuba most recently, and now the new song. The new song. I mean, uske baare mein mujhe kuch kehna hi nahi. We're going to talk all about that in our third segment.
Yeah.
It is a surprise. Yeah, I'm really bad with surprises. By the way, J Raj, who remixed Ajuba very beautifully, came onto the show last week.
Okay.
And the big surprise was at the end of the show he was going to be playing the doll. And you know, I think within the first 5 minutes of the interview I was like, "Aur wo toll bajane wale hain." So we have concluded मेरे पेट में कोई बात नहीं रहती. But oh well, so ये नए गाने के बारे में मैं कुछ नहीं बताऊंगा आपको भाई, आपको सुना के then we'll talk more about that. But first, let's talk about बीता हुआ कल. And I think the most recent कल, you know, 2011. It's been the most phenomenal year for you.
It has been.
Performed with Salim Suleiman. Most recently, was that in 2012? Shafkat Amanat Ali.
Yeah, the beginning of 2012, January 2012, Shafkat Amanat Ali came to Toronto to the Saga Living Arts Center.
Yeah.
And I had the privilege of opening for Shafkat. So
brilliant.
It was a beautiful opportunity, and you know, I really rocked that show. In fact, after the show, I was thinking to myself, like, wow, I killed it.
But that's like, I don't know why. I feel like, you know, you killing it is not exactly anything new anymore. You've been doing it for a while.
Thank you.
And speaking of, you know, you rocked it so well. Let's talk about IFA Rocks as well. Again, the biggest international platform for Bollywood. You've been on there as well. Connected with Shankar Mahadevan. So big year. Let's just suffice to say that. When you look back at all of that, not just Shankar Mahadevan's performance, how does it feel?
You know, all I can say is I'm really blessed. All the hard work past number of years has really paid off last year. In fact, IFA, as we know, it just happened. It came so fast.
Yeah.
Salim Suleiman was looking for a voice in Canada, and they heard about me. They just called me to Thompson. They're like, can you just sing for us? Sang for them. They're like, you're on. That was how fast it was, and I just couldn't, you know, take it all in. I'm like,
can you take me to the moment where you actually walk in and you meet Salim Suleiman and they're like actually there? TV pe to dekha hai, but like, you know, to meet them in
you know
person.
what though, I'm not a person that gets starstruck very easily. So for me, I was really excited to meet them, just because I find that they're very talented individuals.
Yes.
And I remember when I first saw Salim, he's such a chill guy. I mean, you know, he doesn't even act like, oh, I'm Salim Suleiman, you know, part of the duo, big music director in Mumbai. He doesn't have that attitude whatsoever.
Right.
So just walking into the room, first of all, he was like, oh, just come on, sit down, you know, just sing something, hum something, let's have a jam session. So it was really informal. In fact, even meeting him, I didn't know what was exactly going to happen, because a lot of it was kept under wraps.
Okay.
They just said, "Ga to lo pehle, and then we'll talk." Okay. And then I just sang, and then he says, "By the way, this is because you're performing with us at IFA," and I was just like, okay.
Oh. So that's definitely sort of a very, very memorable moment, I think, in your career overall, not just the year 2011. While we're at it, we're just counting down the blessings for you. Let's talk about Shankar Mahadevan, the competition, and then winning it.
Yeah, that's the competition I did not want to participate in, because I'm not a big fan of reality shows and competitions, because I noticed that even the most talented individuals don't win. A lot of you know, reality shows in India, I'm sitting there on my couch watching television and I'm like, man, I really like that girl, and she, you know, how could she have been eliminated, right? So it's not always very fair. So for me to enter the Shankar Mahadevan contest, it was more so the push of my team, my family, my friends. They were like, you know what, just put your entry online and sing something, you know, that you really feel from your heart. And my Guruji at that time was training me on the song called Kuhu Kuhu Bole Koyaliya. So I just said, okay, let's go with it, and put my entry, and before I know it, I won, and the winning prize was, you know, learning from Shankar Mahadevan, having him as your mentor. And I was like, wow, you know, if you look into the industry, if there's someone who is a talented director and a singer, it's only Shankar Mahadevan.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, I think barring in today's time, if you just take away a few like Preetham and Vishal Shekhar, you pretty much connected with the cream of the crop, haven't you? You know, Salim Sulaiman, Shankar from Shankar Ehsaan Loy. Bollywood is pretty much within your reach. And is it safe to assume that Bollywood was an aspiration for the longest time?
It was an aspiration, I'm not going to lie. I mean, growing up, if someone asked me, you know, when you made this decision to go into singing, what was your, you know, end goal? And it was always playback singing. It is always playback singing.
It still is?
Yeah, it still is playback singing.
Okay.
Of course, I am doing a lot of other interesting projects on the side.
Right.
But if I do get into playback singing, that's ideally where I'd like to see myself in the next couple of years. And of course, I'd like to stay there for a long time to come. So.
Absolutely, and I mean, you've got staying power, you've got the talent to go there. I think it's just a matter of time. But having connected with two such major people within the industry, you know, Bollywood, it's, like I said, it's been within reach. It's something you still haven't grabbed onto. Can I ask you why?
You know, I'd like to have an impressive portfolio and really do a lot of work in North America before I go to Bollywood, because as we know, there are a lot of singers in India. There is no dearth of talent. When you look at India, you look at all the reality shows, they churn out such good talent. What are they doing? Why are they not doing playback singing? You know, that's the biggest question audiences have, because there's so many false promises made by so many different directors every time. Ki, you know, Aapki Awaaz, you know, is the one I've been looking for ages. And then you're expecting, okay, you know, a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, but you know what? That singer's disappeared. They're looking for work. They're knocking doors. So for me, I don't want to be doing that. And honestly, I really want to create an impressive portfolio for myself in North America, do things that get their attention, sitting in Mumbai. And then I want them to say, you know what? Now it's time for you to come here and just record this song for this film. And how that's when I'll make that move.
And how's that journey been in terms of you know, creating that portfolio? I think that was my next question. At what point did you decide, okay, I want to actually start focusing on a solo career as well?
Actually, when I was in India, because I was in India for about 2 years. And
was that around the same time that the Shankar Mahadevan thing had happened?
Oh no, Shankar Mahadevan actually happened last year in September. So after IFA, Shankar Mahadevan happened. So it has been a fantastic year last year, connecting with you know, powerhouses in the industry. But when it came to being in India, that was 2006, 2007 around. I won the Sangam Kala Group Award, because of which I was flown down to India, and I was taking some training there. And at that time, I was on a reality show, which was on Zoom TV. And from Zoom, I was picked on to Star TV as well, which I did 2-3 episodes of. But basically at that time, you know, I really got an insight of how reality shows work. I was like, you know, like, what's my future like? What's, you know, I'm here amongst thousands of contestants. Yes, I'm Indo-Canadian. That's probably the only area where I stand out. Yeah, I thought I still believe I have a very unique voice. But you know, you really need to like drop everything in Canada and live in India for at least a good 7-8 years before you can sort of you know, see, okay, is this the right career or not? So for me, I was like, you know, is this really worth it? That to staying so far away from family. Like, I'm the only child. Like, I don't think my parents would be too happy to, like, you know, like, what's my daughter doing there struggling, you know, in India. So that's when I made the decision of coming back. And I said, you know what? I studied the market there. I saw that music directors looking for something different. They want to hear, they want to see someone that can, you know, write lyrics, compose and sing. And that's why I sat down and I put my mindset into writing my own lyrics with Jile, with Ajuba, composing it, and I said, you know what, this is where I'm gonna show that, you know, I'm really serious about my career, and nothing like being at home in my comfort zone and doing it.
Absolutely, and I think it's been a great journey. Just taking a step back really quickly to reality shows. Are you always sold as the Canada, say the, you know, the NRI import when you go into a reality show because you are Indo-Canadian? Is that a stigma that lives with you because you come from the West?
You know what, I don't mind it actually so much. I mean, yeah, you're right. It is a stigma that lives in because I'm from the West. But then that, you know, as a producer, as, you know, when you look at TRP ratings for television, they want something different. They want to really focus on, okay, what is it about her that we can really focus on? Oh, she's Indo-Canadian. Oh, she, you know, she looks different. She treats fashion differently. And even though she has not too much of an Indian accent, she sings Hindi so well. You know, so like they really play on things like that. And I understand, you know, from a television perspective why they need to do that. So I mean, it doesn't bother me so much. But what really bothers me is when talent is not given so much.
Due.
Yeah, it's due. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think does that, and again, sort of, I'm not quite sure how fair this question is, but then interacting with sort of a lot of the industry off screen. I know that we've had this conversation once before as well. By the way, मैं आपको ये बात बता दूं कि this is the second time in 2 days that I'm actually talking to Shweta, and that's when you know that your career is going places. I think I just interviewed Shweta about the new song on my radio show yesterday, and we're talking on TV right now. So it's been a good week for you as well.
Very good week.
साल अच्छा गया, हफ्ता अच्छा गया, महीने अच्छे जा रहे हैं.
Yeah, I can't complain.
You're going places. I think it's pretty good. But I know when we spoke a few weeks ago, we were talking about interacting with a lot of the industry, and they always have the stigma that if you come from America or Canada or London, their expectations of morality or ये सब कुछ करने के लिए outgoing ज़्यादा है. Is that something you have to deal with as well?
I have dealt with it. I'm gonna say this very brutally, very honestly, that I have dealt with it. When I was in India, that's what was the real shock factor for me. That's what took me aback, because that's where the Indo-Canadian tag or the Indo-American tag comes into place. कि ये तो सब कुछ करने के लिए तैयार होगी, अगर इंडस्ट्री में आना है, एक मुकाम पे पहुंचना है, नाम बनाना है, so she'll do anything for it. And I have been approached with such offers by music directors, and you sit there and you think, wow, when it's much better for me to be back home and have that respect for them, for their music. And rather than come here, meet them in person, and then you completely change your impression about them. So वो stigma है, but then you know what, like, you have to just believe in yourself. You have to be true to your talent. You have to just keep going. You have to do what you want. You have to do what you believe in, what you're good at. Don't try to be anybody. The whole problem with singers these days are they try to imitate other pop icons. Yes. They want, like, they see Nicki Minaj, or they see like Beyonce, or they see Sunidhi Chauhan. They try and imitate them. The industry doesn't need any more of them. They have a Sunidhi Chauhan, they have a Beyonce. See what you're good at, what's your USP, and really work on it and put it out there, and then leave it to the divine. That's what I believe in. And I think that you've already got a USP and a half. You are in a juba, and I think that's obviously something you can definitely play off of, and we love you for that. So हमें लेनी एक छोटी सी break, and बहुत सारी बातें और करनी है भाई. We've got to talk about the song. I promise. अब बताने वाले हम आपको ये नया गाना कौन सा है, who's the artist she's collaborated with, and of course we're going to talk about the collaborations with Pariche as well. तो भाई इतनी सारी बातें करनी है, and अगर हो सके तो we'll try and convince her to hum a note or two as well. I didn't ask you this beforehand, but क्या करें यार, you can't have Shweta in studio and not ask her to sing. तो आप कहीं ना जाइएगा, बहुत सारी बातें करनी है भाई. हम अभी गए और अभी वापस आए.